Hey guys, today we're gonna explore why Khabib Nurmagomedov was the best lightweight champion in the world and some arguments as to why he might not have been the best at all. Let's see if some of you agree with me or if not. First of all, let's go over Khabib Nurmagomedov's stats. He retired with 29-0, having fought Justin Gaethje defending his lightweight championship title. Back in 2020, he made this fight actually look pretty easy, even though Justin Gaethje was at his prime and he was really going for it. He ended up subbing him in the second round via triangle choke. Now that Justin Gaethje himself has a win over Ilia Topuria, who was previously undefeated, that makes this win of course age that much better. But also, if we analyze all of his fights, he almost never lost any round and he was pretty much dominant. This was because of one main reason. Khabib Nurmagomedov did stick to what he was good at. Many of the fighters nowadays, they try to mix it up more, which is not a bad thing in and of itself, but if you are really good at a craft and no one can match you there, why not just take the fight straight to the place where no one's gonna really pose any trouble? And that's what Khabib did. Basically, he was using his strikes to get you to the ground, to set up a takedown, and from there on dominating and submitting you. That was his whole point. Now, Islam Makhachev does something similar, but he is more striking heavy than Khabib was. And he suffered a KO loss almost 10 years ago because of it. Something else we have to mention about Khabib, if you analyze how the fights went, he never took any real damage. You never saw him really bleed or any other difficulties that many of those nowadays dominant fighters have. If we take an example with John Jones, there were some fights where he could have arguably lost. That's not the case with Khabib, since he always won either by dominant decision or a submission win. I think he also even has a KO win in his belt. That was most likely the case because his opponents were too concentrated on him shooting for a takedown and therefore leaving their guards down in the moment. And going back to his wrestling, I think Khabib's wrestling is until today one of the most dominant aspects of his game plan and where he really excelled at. He was also the blueprint for many other fighters that came afterwards with dominant wrestling, such as Khamzat Chimaev, which is also a pretty one-dimensional fighter that relies a lot on his cardio and his wrestling, which got exposed, of course, last time against Sean Strickland. So he was one of the few fighters that were undefeated as a champion, and even nowadays there are not many undefeated fighters left that are champions. Best example again is Ilia Topuria, having lost the fight dominantly against Justin Gaethje, as well as taking a lot of damage that we never have seen him before at. And Khabib was a really humble guy. He respected his opponents at all time. He knew that this is a really dangerous game and he didn't underestimate it. So this is why he always goes to his strength and he takes the fight there. Even in the fight against Michael Johnson, he said he doesn't want to hurt him, he should just give up. Now let's get to the arguments as to why he might not have been the best ever at the lightweight division. So of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't stay too long in the game. He retired quite early, not even hitting his prime, so people were of course a little bit disappointed that they didn't get to see more of him and establish more title defenses, which would have catapulted him into a higher rank of GOAT status. And I pretty much agree with it, but we have to also analyze that all of the fights he had, he didn't have too much trouble winning at all. So at the end of the day, we can really say that Khabib was one of the best ever to do it in the lightweight division. And I also think it is a good idea to live the fight game while you are on top. You don't want to end up being the guy who loses fight at the end of his career. And if you feel like you don't have it in you anymore to go through the fight camps and weight cutting and everything that comes with it, it's a valid reason to stop. He has also made a lot of money and there is no real financial reason to keep doing this. This is what I think. If you agree or disagree with me, let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.